So this question asks you to find the exact value of tangent of 13 pi twelfths. Now, typically when I ask you to find the exact value of any trigonometric expression, it will usually involve special unit circle angles. Now, since we are clearly in the radian system, there's sort of a trick to knowing what angles are, quote, special in the radian system. All special unit circle angles in the radian system will have a denominator of 6, a denominator of 4, or a denominator of 3. Well, actually, technically that's not true. They also have a denominator of 2 if it's a quadrantal angle, or a denominator of 1 if they were multiples of whole pies. But clearly we can see here that we have a denominator of 12, which by my own admission is not what I call special. So this right here is a, quote, hard question. Well, it turns out that if anytime I expect you to find the exact value of a non-special angle, that usually means we're going to have to use certain identities. Fortunately, we have lots of identities to help us. We have the sums and difference identities, we have the double angle identities, and we have the half angle identities. Now, there are lots of different ways you can approach these types of problems, and of course, depending on which way you use, your answer may look differently. Since this was a multiple choice question, whichever pathway you took, you just have to make sure or verify that it matches one of the 4 choices. So I'm going to approach this using sums and difference. If you chose to use double angles or half angles, your final answer may look slightly different. You would just have to, again, work the arithmetic to one of the choices. So the first thing I notice about this problem is that the angle is pretty large, right? 13 pi twelfths is, well, it's bigger than an obtuse angle. It's in the 3rd quadrant. So I'm going to work with reference angles. And again, you can only use reference angles for sums and differences. I wouldn't use reference angles for half angles or double angles because, you know, when you double something, take half of something, it sort of skews the reference. So I should know that the reference angle of 13 pi twelfths is simply pi twelfths. And since 13 pi twelfths is in the 3rd quadrant, I know tangent is positive in the 3rd quadrant. I'm good there. Now, we did say that we're going to utilize the sums and differences. So let's talk about the special angles. In the radian systems, the special angles are pi 6, pi fourths, pi thirds. And I'm going to just rewrite them in terms of denominator 12 because that's what we have. So pi 6 is 2 pi twelfths, pi fourths is 3 pi twelfths, pi thirds is 4 pi twelfths. And then the task is to use either adding or subtracting. Utilize these however you can in order to create this. And I hope it doesn't take a lot of thinking to know that, hey, if we subtract these two, or if we subtract these two, that's going to give us pi 12. So it really doesn't matter which one we pick. For the sake of this video, I'm going to pick these two here. So according to the scratch work here, I know that tangent of pi 12 is the same thing as this angle minus that angle is the same thing as pi fourths minus pi 6. So notice that we now have a tangent of a subtraction problem. Fortunately, according to our reference sheet, according to our identity sheets, there is a way to handle this. According to the sums and difference formulas, tangent of a difference is tangent of the first angle minus tangent of the second angle all over 1 plus tangent of the first angle times tangent of the second angle. And since we've now decomposed this problem in terms of special unit circle angles, I expect you guys to be able to evaluate all of these pieces on your own, mentally, without a calculator. So we should simply just know that tangent of pi fourths is 1, minus tangent of pi 6 is what? That's 1 over radical 3, which rationalizes to radical 3 over 3. All over 1 plus 1 times radical 3 over 3. This is a compound fraction, so let's clear the fraction by multiplying everything by the LCD, which in this case is just 3. And if you do that, we get 3 minus radical 3 all over 3 plus radical 3, and that was one of the options. So there we go. That's the exact value of tangent of 13 pi twelfths.